Hello guys, this is Joshua Halls here, so I need to sort out my camera, and today we're going to be doing something a bit different. It's of course May the 4th, which is for Star Wars fans, Star Wars Days. You know, yesterday I uploaded The Mandalorian Season 1 review, which was really good, so make sure to check that out if you haven't. But today we're going to be doing something I don't think I've done on the channel, like, ever. I might have done it like once or twice. I feel like I might have done it like once or twice, but so today we're going to be ranking all the Star Wars movies from the worst to the best. And first, this is just something I really enjoy doing. I really enjoy these kind of things. I thought, let's just give a proper order of these films, of how I view these films. Of course, I believe at the time this video comes out, they're all available on Disney Plus. So if any of you were interested in it, got Disney Plus, or you're not got Disney Plus but you're still interested, I would recommend it. I'm a big Star Wars fan, so yeah. I'll probably also say in it if they suit the main timeline films, and yeah. So let's kick off with number 12, the worst Star Wars film in my opinion, and is the Clone Wars movie. And before you say, I don't hate any of these Star Wars films. I think they're all pretty good. But this film is not good, it's decent. The problem with this film, it doesn't feel like a movie. This film is basically, they created the TV show The Clone Wars, which as we know did very well. But they decided to take the first 4 episodes of the show, squeeze them, try and compress them into a movie and be like, let's release that to kind of advertise the show. But the problem is with that, it just, when you watch it, it doesn't feel like a movie. It's the only animated film. It just doesn't feel like a movie. It feels like episodes of a TV show squashed together. This would have probably been better as the TV show, and it's so they completely change what happens in a certain section of the film. A certain section, Obi-Wan Kenobi's the main character. The next section, he's a side character, barely on screen, and the next section he's a main character, and the next section he's not a main character, and it's an absolute, it is literally, they don't have a proper structure. This would have worked as a TV show episodes, but because they decided to take these TV shows and not really make them work as TV shows, squish them together, they don't work as a film. They squish, and it just, I enjoy this film. I think it's decent. It just, the reason why it gets sometimes, and there are bits of this film I really like, but that's just bits, which adds to an episode I would have liked, which would have been better. So, unfortunately, I still like this film. I don't hate it, but it gets to the bottom of my list. Number 11, it is Star Wars Episode 2 Attack of the Clone Wars. I don't hate this either. It's a pretty good film. I mean, goodish. The biggest problem, which is why it's so low on my list, is that it's a dialogue. This has probably got the worst dialogue than in any film. It's atrocious, the dialogue, and it drags a bit. This is probably once you've watched this once and get what's going on, like I do, you can literally do other stuff while watching this film, and the movie's more enjoyable. But when you're focusing specifically on the movie, which I did when I reviewed the film, by the way, I'll talk about that in a bit. But yeah, so it's best. But I watched it again while doing some other stuff. It was a much more enjoyable, fun film. But as a film itself, you shouldn't need to do other stuff to make this film enjoyable and just stay concentrating good. It should just be a good film. I still like this film. I don't hate it. But it's number 11. And before I move into our top 10, I want to let you know I've reviewed all these Star Wars films. If you want to go check those videos out, you can. I've got like specific playlists for Star Wars movie reviews and stuff like that. You'll find all of these there in case you're interested. Now let's move into the top 10. And number 10 is Solo: A Star Wars Story. I think this is a pretty fun movie. Just compared to the rest, not so good. By the way, so yeah. This is just my opinion, by the way. You don't have to agree or anything like that. And you're probably not going to agree, those Star Wars fans. But yeah, Solo, it's a fun movie. The biggest problem is this is another problem with the Clone Wars that I forgot to mention, is that if you decide to watch Star Wars for a certain time and just watch a marathon, watch all these films in chronological yada yada yada, the Clone Wars and this film stick out. They don't add anything to the story. They're better films to watch by themselves. If Clone Wars, if you're gonna watch the TV show, watch the film. But this is a film you should watch by itself, not when you're doing a Star Wars marathon. Unless you're like me, who's watched these films multiple times, a gajillion times, and you can understand the story, then it's fine. But for first time, I wouldn't recommend putting this in the film, and that's a kind of a problem. I don't hate this movie. I feel like the only reason it made the least amount of money and considered a bit of a flop when it comes to money was because Episode 8 came out and a lot of people hate it. I'll get to that in a bit. So, and this came out only a few months afterwards, so there's still that kind of negative vibe and stuff, so it just lets people into it. But I strongly believe that if they pushed this to December, it would have done much better and probably been received as a better film total. I think this film's better in rewatches as well, but I like this film. Solo's a good film, but compared to the rest, it just doesn't work in my opinion. It just doesn't really fit. It's just, yeah. And the twist at the end isn't even a twist. It's a weird twist where if you watch the Clone Wars or Rebels and stuff, you already know this, but if you don't, you think, wait, how's that even possible? Like, it's confusing. So, that's why I give number 10 to this one. Still a fun film, but it just doesn't work properly into the story. Sorry, I got a notification on my phone. Now, moving into... So I'm just checking the cameras. It's sturdy. Now, number 9. Number 9, I have Star Wars Episode 4, A New Hope. I know I'm going to get a lot of hate for this. People would have this high on my list. And I still enjoy the movie. I have to give it credit, which is that it is the first Star Wars film to come out. If we didn't have this film, we wouldn't have anything else. So I've got to give it props there. The problem is, it feels like just it's a product of its time, even if it's the DVD edition with extra special edits and stuff like that to try and modernize it. But it's still at the core of its film a product of its time, and I didn't grow up in the late 70s when this film came out, so it's harder to kind of like relay or find enjoyable. In my opinion as well, it has the worst lightsaber fight like ever. Like, the lightsaber battle is atrocious. But yeah, and plus there's a chunk of this film that feels like a classic fairy tale movie but in space, and I'm not really into that kind of stuff. I like this movie, I still like it a lot, it's just not for me. I gotta be honest, it's just not for me. And that's why it is number 9. Number 8 is Star Wars Episode 1, The Phantom Menace. I'm probably gonna get hate for thinking it's better than Episode 4. But, yeah. The thing is, though, this was the first Star Wars film I watched. So I have a lot of nostalgia going to this film. And I watched this film, probably because of nostalgia, because it's still a fun film. I do think if I was to watch it now for the first time, I probably wouldn't enjoy it because Jar Jar is very bad. I don't like the character. So yeah, it's too childish, but this film, it's I find this very fun. It's really good, great lightsaber battle, and a really good pod racing scene. It's a fun movie, and I get nostalgia when watching this film and stuff because it was the first Star Wars film I watched. Now it is time for number 8, I think. Yes, number 8, and that is Rogue One: A Star Wars Story. I enjoyed this film. It is a fun movie. The ending is really good, but a lot of the characters aren't really fleshed out. There's only 2 main characters, Jyn Erso and Cassian Andor. They're really fleshed out. He has a pretty cool character because he's basically a blind man who wasn't trained as Jedi but is force sensitive and stuff like that. That was alright. That was pretty cool. But apart from that, it wasn't really fleshed out. None of the other characters were fleshed out with their own story and stuff like that. Sorry, I got a notification. So that's why, no matter how good the ending is, how fun the movie is, when terrible stuff happens, when certain things happen to bad stuff happens to some of the characters, you're just supposed to care. You just don't, because you haven't like experienced their journey, and not everyone gets like this heroic ending and stuff like that. I still really enjoyed this film, but I think it's definitely got some flaws, and I still really enjoy this film. But yeah, why did I say number 8? This isn't number 8, is it? No, that was number 6, and that was number 7. Okay. Now, no, it's not. This is 7, 8, 7. No, this is 6. No, this is 7. That was 7. I'm going crazy. Number 6 is Star Wars Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back. I enjoy this film. It's a fun movie. The problem is the twist. I watched these films in chronological order, so the twist just does nothing for me. When you take the twist out, it's not this brilliant film. It's still a really good film, which is why it's like number 6 on my list. But it's just not a great film if you take that out, because in plus if you think about it, for the most part, Leia, Chewbacca, Han Solo, C-3PO do absolutely nothing in this film. They do pretty much nothing. It was, yeah, they're just there for most of the films. Like, how am I supposed to really put this in my top 5? I'm gonna get a lot of hate for this, because this is by a lot of people consider this the greatest Star Wars film ever made. I enjoy the film. It's fine. It's a good film. It's my second for my second favorite trilogy. Yes, I know that's what he got to make, but yeah. But it's a fun film. I enjoy myself when watching this film. It's a nice story. There is some stuff. Yeah, it's just a fine film. I enjoy myself when watching this film. But when you take the twist out, all you've got is that is really good, because that wasn't a twist for me. So all you really have in this film is the Yoda and Luke training scenes, which were really good. I really enjoyed those. But Leia, Han, Chewbacca, C-3PO do absolutely nothing, and I don't think you could say this is the greatest movie of all Star Wars movie of all time on the twist alone. You can't have one moment in the entire film and say it's the greatest Star Wars film. You need to the entire film needs to be good. I still enjoy this film. I just don't think it's as good as people say. Let's move into our top 5. Number 5, it is The Return of the Jedi. A lot of people think this is the worst of the original trilogy. I don't, but a lot of people say when you're younger you like this film more. Stuff like that. I honestly really enjoy this movie. It has a great ending. Yes, the Ewoks are a bit, but I thought it was alright, considering Ewoks basically take on the Empire. At least they try to do it with smart ideas, with traps and stuff that they create to make it seem a bit more legit. I didn't hate the Ewoks. I thought the ending of this film was really good, to the point where if they weren't going to do the sequel trilogy, I would still be happy with this ending. But it's not. But yeah. So number 5, Return of the Jedi. Number 4 is The Force Awakens. I know I'm gonna get a lot of hate for putting this higher than Episode 4, because it's just a rehash of Episode 4, and I just dropped the DVD. But it's just a really fun movie. It has my favourite lightsaber battle in Star Wars history, which helps as well. I just have a load of fun, and that's what you want in a movie, to enjoy yourself. It is a load of fun. The action's great. It gets you involved with these new characters who are great. You get introduced to new characters, which is great. You get to see your old characters, which are great. I had a load of fun with this film, and I can't say anything else. It is one of the best Star Wars films. So yeah, number 3 is The Revenge of the Sith. These two tend to change, but I feel like sometimes should this be number 3 and stuff. I decided that this should be number 3, because although this might be a more enjoyable film, the story is very similar. And yes, it uses a nostalgia card, but it uses it better than a lot of people could. So yeah, I still really enjoy that film. But this story was really good. For Star Wars Episode 3, The Revenge of the Sith, which is number 3. Episode 3, number 3. Who would have thought? But yeah, it's a very fun film. I enjoy it. There are some scenes that are, well, the punch to the gut. It's a fun movie. It is definitely one of the greatest of all time. There are some scenes that I didn't like with the same with Episode 2, the chemistry between Hayden Christensen and Natalie Portman just wasn't good, like the Episode 2, which I forgot to mention, but it's still an enjoyable film. I don't know why Hayden Christensen got so much hate. Maybe it's because of the script, but yes, just because they didn't have chemistry. But he was actually really good when it came to his scenes of giving into doing some more kind of evil stuff. He was really good at that, Hayden Christensen as Anakin. So I really enjoyed this film, and that is why it's number 3 on my list. Number 2, and this is gonna get to me, The Last Jedi. I just love this film. I think, yes, it's not, because it's not the best, you probably know what the best is and probably left the video. But I had a lot of fun with this film. It has a great story with Luke Skywalker being this man who's basically been destroyed by Vader, and I found it completely legit and reasonable, his points. And he's learned to overcome his failures and become a better Jedi by the end of the film. I thought it was a very good story they told with Luke. Rey is good at this film as well. Everyone's great. It has a nice story. Yes, some scenes on Canto Bight were amazing, but I think they're still good. I don't get the hate those scenes got. I had a great time watching this film, and that's why it's number 2. And number 1, my favourite Star Wars film, is The Rise of Skywalker. I know I'm gonna get hate, but this is just my opinion. So yeah, this might change because of recency, but I was kind of worried about that when I was watching it the second time. I was like, am I not gonna enjoy as much? Because I looked at it and feels like, will I enjoy as much the second time? I remember really enjoying the first time, and I watched it again. I was still blown away. It was brilliant. I was surprised how good it was. I was surprised again. But this was just a brilliant film. The story that they told with Rey, the characters were great. I really liked the kind of MacGuffin storyline. It was a really great finale to the Skywalker saga. It was brilliant. And yes. So yeah, that's why it's just number 1. I just can't go into how much fun I had with this film, and the ending is so cool, and the rest of the film is just a load of fun. So if you have a fun movie and an incredibly cool ending, you're gonna have a top tier movie, and that's what this film is. I absolutely love it. So overall, all the Star Wars films are good. Some are better than others. If you're interested in watching the Star Wars films, I would recommend the movie you shouldn't watch until afterwards are the Clone Wars movie and Solo movie. And the order I watched these films in were when I watch these films, I watch them in order of 1, 2, 3, Rogue One, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. But yeah, that's it for this review. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel if you haven't yet, turn notifications on so you never miss a video, and I'll see you all in the next one. Bye. Let me know in the comments section below, by the way, your opinions on this film, your rankings. I hope you enjoyed this video. I'll see you in the next one. Bye.